So last night, my brother and I had a conversation about who's the bigger disappointment for our parents, and I think I think we were both in agreement. It kind of goes back and forth right now, and currently, I'd say he's the bigger disappointment because he went to Oklahoma without heeding mom's advice of seeing our grandfather before they went. Um, they had a baby shower they were going to in Oklahoma, and didn't apparently the mother is a high risk pregnancy, so they didn't want to take it or risk exposing her to anything that they might pick up at the hospital or a nursing home environment, so they put it off. And my brother had made mention that he might try to pop in at one point, and then it ended up not working out. But he's been gone since Friday, and our parents aren't really talking to them much. We have a group chat with, there's multiple group chats. There's one that has my parents, my brother, my sister-in-law, and me. And then, of course, my brother and I have been mainly talking outside of any of the group chats here lately. But especially when it comes to matters of healing and, well, anything on that line. Nobody else really, I think, cares to listen to it beyond a certain extent. So we just talk amongst ourselves most of the time. Yes, but he went to Oklahoma and did not bother checking in with our grandfather. And yesterday, no, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, it's a Friday, the day they left. That evening, I was sitting at the table, and my mom was home. She just gotten home recently, and I don't even remember what exactly it was that was said, but she looked at me and said, "Does he know how grim this is right now?" And I was like, "That depends." I said, "How grim are we, or what are we talking about?" I said, "Are we talking about how grim you keep saying that it is, and then I get there and it doesn't look that grim at all? Or, is there something else? There are more factors that I'm not taking into consideration or whatever?" Because every time any of, me or my cousins or my brother, any time it's been pushed upon us as how critical it is and how immediate this death is looking. I mean, my one cousin was like, "For 6 years," and here we are. It's like, yeah. It's like, do you one better? It's like, I think I'm looking at like 33 years now. It's like, I'm aware that it's probably more of an actual thing that's going to be happening in the not too distant future, because after all, not everybody, well, not anybody can live forever, despite their best attempts. And I've been the bigger disappointment for a while because, in the past year when I've really learned why setting boundaries is so important, 2024 has been a big year on me establishing the need and relevance for boundaries and protecting my energy. And as such, my family has been my parents have been very not into that. And, so I've very easily in this point now where, okay, like the other day, yesterday, there was a stupid debacle that, okay, I'm not gonna deny that I do kind of enjoy pushing buttons. So yesterday I walked my brother's dogs, and I came home and was getting ready to walk my dogs, and my mom was like, how long is it going to take you to do that? What, like 45 minutes? Like something like that? She said, well, when you get back, you go ahead and cook the taco meat and we could eat dinner, and then we could all go to the nursing home to visit your grandfather. And I don't really say anything about it at that point. But I left the house and I was just kind of thinking, I really don't want to do that, and, kind of sent that thought to the universe of, maybe something could happen and I don't need to go. It would be great. While I was walking, because I took my dogs down to the school, which was the same place I walked my brother's dogs. Figure I can let mine burn off even more energy by sniffing out where their cousins have been. So that's fun. Yeah. While we were over there walking, I happened to see my parents drive off, going to Verizon to deal with some phone situation for my grandfather, because he's getting even worse with technology, which, he's never wanted to learn to do it, but apparently he's been holding down the volume button and then can't figure out why he's not getting any calls, and was really upset about it. So they were trying to get him something else that, take all the bells and whistles out of it and make it as simple as possible so he can just like click on the picture or something, because he's not doing phones otherwise. And give him, his good friend's phone number, and then of course his daughters and my grandma. And I can't think, the one thing my mom showed me had like 6 pictures that you could put on there. And okay, so it'd probably be my grandma's, be their house line, and then her cell phone, even though she doesn't ever use it and barely ever has it on. She takes it with her to the grocery store. It's usually off, but it's in there, and she doesn't know how to do anything with it anyway. But anyway, I digress. So I see them drive off, and I couldn't remember if they were planning on doing that, like going to Verizon before we did dinner or after. I was thinking that they were just going to suck me into all of it with them. I was just like, I don't want to do that, and I even sent my brother a message with my mom's, hey, I have an idea, and he's like, don't do it, resist. It's like, yeah, it's like, because I had talked about wanting to skate and wanting to do a video, and I did not do either of those things. Of course, it was a little chilly, still a little chilly, but I'm probably going to go skate here after I'm done with this. But I knew I wanted to do one. Okay, so big thing right now, I think I'm at 94 videos, and I just had this really strong urge to, it's going to be easy to do, but to get to the 100th video before the end of the year. I think it is possible that it could happen before the end of the month if I stop letting stupid distractions get in the way, and family nonsense that's, really nonsense. But yeah, so I saw them driving away, and I thought, it's like, maybe I could just hang out here longer. And oh boy, y'all, as I'm trying to tell this story, I just see a message from my mom pop up that she will need some stuff brought to Hancock, and I don't know if that's going to be the hospital or the rehab place. That's a different one, I don't know if they're going back to the hospital. I don't know what's happening. There's a lot of drama, lots of back and forth. Anyway, we're resisting getting drugged back into it. Essentially, like the past 33 years, where it's been such an obsession that everything was going to kill him, he's literally been siphoning the life force energy out of everybody, right? And now that I'm able to disconnect from that, I have a frisbee by my foot now. So she may yell at me soon. Sorry. Come here. Come here. Come here. Be on the video. She's like, enough with your nonsense. Throw the damn thing. Anyway. Yeah. So, not checking that message right now. Because I would kill the video at that point. And we're not trying to do that. Anyway. Story. Where was I at? You're not any better at not distracting me, so stop. Okay, so yesterday, I don't know. Okay, so like the past 33 years, I've been made aware of how much of a leech he's been on, like, the whole family collective energy system, and there's a reason we all have big anxiety issues. And I'm not saying that. Okay, I will say narcissism has been a big thing in my family, and dealing with or contending with those issues and starting there. But knowing why, protecting my energy is so important now, as soon as I started making that a focus, there were a lot of things that were notably shifted within my family. And, the way I respond to people, and am much more inclined to piss them off and not care if I piss them off than before. Because my brother and I were talking last night about how even though she learned to manipulate our behavior to be what she wanted, she still herself had been raised in that kind of environment as well. And I'm pretty confident my grandfather was also, because that's how cycles are in families. They continue until somebody looks at it, sees it as a problem, and decides actively that this ends with me. Oh, and I have decided that many times. And in high school, I said I would not have kids unless I was able to resolve this stuff that had been passed on to me, because I don't want to do that. I don't want to keep perpetuating the problem. So since my divorce has been looking at how I got there and why that was a necessary step for me. And it all comes from toxic family systems. And, until somebody chooses to see it for what it is and stop it, make the active, or take the active steps forward to heal and end the cycle, it's going to keep going. And my brother and I have both, what I learned on the boundaries thing, I passed on to him, and he's also gotten from his group sessions and whatnot. And we're very much on the same page with everything. That, I made a comment last night about how, about my interpretation of things and how I felt her manipulating me very directly at times to get me to act the way that she wanted me to act. And I said, and I know that's true for you too, because she wasn't the one that was choosing to end the cycle. So we're both having to work through this stuff, and so much, so much work to be done there. But yeah, so the past 33 years of my life, it's been so pressing to hear all the ways that he's going to die and the things that are going to kill him, and yet here we are. He's 85, he's outlived most of his friends, and if you still, the last time I went to visit him, which honestly he was in the hospital. I think he's back in the rehab at this point. I don't remember what day that was this past week, but it's been a few days since I went over there. But he was still at that point, this is gonna kill me. It's like, dude, what are you so freaking afraid of? It's like, I told my brother last night, I had this, when I was on my way over to my brother's house the last night, and I just kind of had one of those conversation visualizations in my head throughout the entire process, and I've had these many times recently, and a big thing that I come back to with my grandfather is he's the reason that I am confident hell is not somewhere you go when you die, and it's something you must go through on this planet before you can actually start living. And he's been so afraid of dying because of this elusive thing that he never bothered to live. So, and I'm pretty confident he doesn't really know anything substantial about any of his grandkids. Like, he didn't even think about us enough when when they were asking him about special people in his life. It was his buddy, but he didn't mention that he even had grandkids. It's like, you can say what you want about, he's been in the hospital and all this stuff. It's like, even those of us that have gone over there regularly, like I used to, August after he left the hospital was when I stopped going daily. And yeah, it's like, after it's been a few days, he might say something, but it's not because he actually misses having us around, I don't think. I think it's more he misses the illusion of family connectedness. I asked my one cousin what her mom tells her as far as everything goes, and she said she hadn't really heard anything in a week, but she generally gets a little bit of a guilt trip on, you need to spend time with him and have a good visit with him or call them or whatever. But there again, it's still that guilt. Do it because I think you should, and I'm going to make you feel bad if you don't. So it's not, I don't know. The middle sister's kids, okay, the one pretty much shut the whole family out, and the one that said he's been dying for 6 years and I can't keep taking time away from work to come back and visit when I've been hearing this for 6 years. And the other one is pregnant, so she, I guess one of the sisters talked to the people at the nursing home, and we're going to be having Thanksgiving in their day room. And yeah, so that cousin won't be there because, she doesn't want to take any chances on picking anything up since she's pregnant. But I'm inclined to think that she's been disconnecting a lot more, not quite as much as her brother has. She lives like 45 minutes away, but she frequently uses that as an excuse of why she doesn't want to come visit. So So it's not just me and my brother being assholes thing either. This is something that's been a big perpetuated problem, and ours is the generation, I guess, that is choosing to break away from it, and that's not easy. Yeah, it's breezy enough. My hands are starting to get cold. Anyway, yesterday's debacle. She come up with this idea, and I wasn't really wanting to go along with it, but at the same time, it's like, do I have a good excuse? I mean, not wanting to is actually a good excuse, but it's also one of those picking and choosing your battles kind of things, because if I never go, then it's going to be a whole ordeal. If I need assistance on anything, it's like, yeah. So, yesterday, after I got done walking the dogs, I came back home, and I went ahead and made the taco meat and cut up the tomato like she requested, and I even got some lettuce and whatnot, and I went ahead and ate because I didn't know when they were going to be done. And I don't know, I probably was pulling cards or reading. Yeah, but it's gonna annoy me now that I know it's there. Basset hair. She's mostly white and it's short and gets stuck everywhere. Well, she's not mostly white. She's got a lot of white on her legs and chest. And she was, yeah. She loves me, what can I say? But anyway, I'd already eaten. I was kind of doing my own thing. And then I get a message from my mom saying, please tell me you already cooked the taco meat. And I said, I already ate. And I was intentionally vague, not gonna lie. Because she has this natural inclination to assume the worst about me and my brother anyway. Like, even if we are trying to get along with her, she's still going to assume the worst about us because we're not behaving the way she tried to coerce us into behaving long term over our lifetimes. And so I was intentionally vague. And then she went silent for a while. And then I sent a message back probably about a half an hour later. And I said, well, I guess I'll put this food up then. And she says, what food? And I said, the fucking taco meat. It's like, the food you had me cook. She said, well, you said you already ate. It's like, I ate the fucking taco meat. And she was like, oh, I didn't know that. It's like, no, you didn't, because you didn't ask either. You assumed that I ate something else and didn't cooperate with your plan. But that was the whole thing. It's like, then at that point, they went ahead and she asked if I was going to go with them to the nursing home, and I was like, do I need to? And left it at that. So they went and did their own thing. And me and my brother were talking, in that time frame. And eventually, a couple hours later, I hear them get back home, and I was not in any kind of hurry on going out there, but eventually I went out there to get a cookie. And when I did, I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay. She said that when they got to the nursing home, my grandfather was sitting in his wheelchair in the hallway and had his bedside table in the hallway with him. And they said, what's going on? And he said, I'm in trouble. And the nurse came over and said he's in trouble because he keeps trying to walk on his own. Now, mind you, he had surgery for a shattered femur back in August. I guess I think the first day back at the nursing home, he's in the rehab side. the first day back, he got confused, so they said, and was looking for my grandmother, and one of the nurses happened to walk in on his room when he had walked himself into the bathroom and then got stuck and couldn't walk himself back. And apparently she screeched when she saw him, because he wasn't supposed to be up and moving on his own. They're working with him on that kind of stuff, but he's still not supposed to do it on his own because, well, hey, if he falls again, like, we need that drama. Yeah. It's just annoying shit, really. And yeah, that's where we are. But then I was talking to my cousin and my brother, and we were all kind of just discussing the ways that the family drama has or is received by any of us at this point. It's like the one cousin, I feel like her brother is probably right along the lines of me and my brother on being as easily roped back into the bullshit. The one that has basically written off the family altogether. I used to watch him and his sister a lot, and they would start conversations with me at times about the favoritism in the family and how we were basically the rejects. And I've told several people that that one particular cousin that has written everybody off, I was relieved when he was born because I knew that for once I wasn't going to be down at the shit list by myself, because when it was just me and my brother was always my grandparents' favorite, and it was like nothing I could do seemed to matter, so it just was what it was. And yeah, it sucked, but it was what it was. So when my aunts had their kids, because that was, the closest one to me in age is 12 years younger, and the youngest, so 12 to 15 years for me and 15 to 18 years for my brother. And interestingly, I think that was the gap on my mom's sisters and us too, or at least me, because the youngest sister, she was 15 when I was born, and the middle sister was 18. So that was kind of, just interesting how some of those numbers repeat in cycles and whatnot. But yeah. So yeah, my brother and I were just kind of joking about who's the bigger disappointment. And it's like, at this point in time, I mean, we're just making a joke of it anyway. We accept that this is our lot in life because we're not just bowing to every whim that our parents put out there for us. And keeping in mind that his mother-in-law passed away in April, and our parents were kind of assholes about that whole situation. Because it's not mom's parents, even though my sister-in-law's mom, I think, was just a couple months older than my mom's mom. Because Jen was the change of life baby or whatever, and whatever they call that. And my mom, she was born to parents basically right out of high school. And then my mom did that same thing, perpetuation of that cycle as well. Because she had by the time she was 22, she was married and had me and my brother both. So when I hit 22, I was like, what the fuck was she thinking? I don't know anything about who I am. So why would I try to have kids and have that be a whole thing in and of itself too? So yeah. Oh man, not quite where I didn't figure this would be like the entire video or anything. Hey, Grandpa's back. Okay, thank you. Hey, Tazzy, you see Mama? Uh-oh. Oh, hush. You were being good. Go back to it. She was like, how dare you? Yeah. That was the whole thing. I have another point that I know I want to talk about, but I'm not sure I want to talk about it in this video since this has been consumed by this other bullshit the whole time. But like I said, I realized, okay, I'm at 94 videos, so I am confident, I have no doubt I will make it before the end of December, but I'm thinking there's a chance, depending on how motivated I can be and how much I can keep my family out of manipulating my plans into something else. Like yesterday, my plans got manipulated, absolutely, but I also had enough resistance to it that I didn't do what they wanted me to either. I just also didn't do what I had wanted to all day, which was do another video. But I'm pretty sure I could probably get another one done. Well, I'm pretty sure I could probably make it to 100 by the end of the month, but we'll see how this week goes. So yeah. It is chilly. My hand is cold. My brother made that point about, but, they, like our parents, how they've not been easy for us to deal with, but at the same time, it's also because they also had the same kind of stuff enforced on them. It's like, yes, I said, as was with the perpetuation of the cycles, and if nobody chooses to stand up against it and push back, then, and heal, that's the biggest point, heal the nonsense, then it's only ever going to be perpetuated, and I'm not about to continue that on. Like, I would very much like to have a family of my own that is not ruled by manipulation. That just sucks. And even the point of getting made fun of because my dogs and I were trauma bonded for a while. It's still a little bit of that. But I'm getting better about, okay, Ziva, hey, ZBD, come here, ZBD. This precious little angel that she is. Yeah, she's a good girl. Okay, she is 11. She will be 12 in January. She has been with me all throughout all the drama with my ex and the back and forth. She was my co-pilot. We made many, many trips together. And she also helped me get my brain injury. Not so sure she didn't also get some damage out of that, but she is fabulous, and yeah, I love this dog so much. However, I have said many times that I thought she was trying to kill me. Not just through the brain injury stuff, but through stress that she's given me. Because, okay, like one day, many years ago, I had this chocolate bar that It was milk chocolate and sea salt caramel, and it was great. I tasted it, and that was it. And I got back home one day, and she had eaten part of the foil and completely just demolished the chocolate. Another day, she got into off-brand Reese cups and ate the whole bag. She's gotten into a lot of stuff that she should not have. Yeah. And she's still up to these antics. This week, a couple days ago, I got home, and she and Taz are really bad. If there's a little cart that is in the middle of the pantry doorway, and if somebody moves it to get something in there and doesn't put it back, they will go shopping. And the other day I came home, and they had gone shopping, and there were like these little individual snack pack kind of things of like some kind of chickpea snacks. There was a package of the chocolate rice cakes and a box of macaroni and cheese that had a little rat hole in it, and she was eating the noodles, and her belly has been bloated ever since. But she does that kind of stuff frequently, or she has, as often as she is able, she will try to do that stuff if left to her own devices. It has resulted at times in her getting locked back up, which if I'm going to lock one of them up, I got to lock all three of them up, because otherwise they start bickering amongst themselves and bullying each other. But then when all three of mine get locked up, then the other two of my parents occasionally get bullied by mine afterwards, because they're pissed. Well, especially Gidge. She doesn't like being she doesn't even get into this stuff as much. She's just, because she gets real nosy and nippy if somebody else gets locked up, and haha, that, kind of gloaty kind of a thing, and kind of becomes a shit. Yes, I don't like it when you become a shit kid. Hey, come here. No, she's not going to get close enough to get on camera. Come here. Or will she? Yes, she will. Yes. But, so that's a whole thing. So usually, once we kind of break the habit again, briefly, then, like before, all three crates are currently up in the living room, because we had an ordeal earlier this year where Ziva and Taz would get into like containers of dog treats, and they would take the lid off of a brand new container of dog treats, like Milk Bones or whatever, and completely demolish it, and both of them, I think they might have shared a little bit with the others, but mainly they kept it between themselves. So there's been a lot of learning to trust the universe on that kind of thing, because the other day when she got into the chocolate rice cakes, I was looking at the ingredients, what all was on them, and there's like chocolate liquor. It's like, and cocoa something or other. It's like, those sound like they're on the verge of like dark chocolate stuff, and I know that's toxic to dogs and really super stressful, and I was really stressed out about it, and it's like, handing it over to the universe, it's like, I cannot just let myself freak out about this, because I will full on freak out, and that only brings about bad things. But if I can keep myself from getting to that point, and remember to trust the universe is in control of things, then do a lot better. And that day, it was very stressful anytime she does. It's always stressful when she does something stupid like that. But that day, it was like really stressed out about it, but also aware of all the ways that the universe has showed up for me this entire year. And yeah, and resolved things just by my trusting that it was going to handle things. Oh. I was kind of like, yeah, I just threw it out there. It's like, I am struggling with turning this one over and not being anxious about it. But I know that everything is in control and everything that is happening right now serves a purpose. And there's a squirrel up there I just now saw. I don't know how long he's been there. Tail's blowing in the breeze. I was like, I know that stressing out will not serve any kind of good. And so I just kind of turned it over and like literally like I was sending a couple of my friends messages because I was so stressed out about it. And then like within a couple minutes of reframing everything, it's like it felt like it kind of washed away. It's like, oh, okay, this is helpful. And so far so good. So, but with $8 in my bank account, there's not really anything I can do on that one right now. And she is late on her shots, and we have an appointment the first week of December, but I'm trying to clear off the care credit balance so I can put a new one on there. Thank you for that. That's so rude. Hey, I don't need you barking in my ear right now. Hi. Or slurping me to death, and I definitely don't need to hold you. Yeah. Yeah, but I've been like trying to pay down this balance that, okay, there's one, I think I'm at $139 that I need to pay off by Christmas Eve, or I'm going to start getting hit with interest. And I've done really good in the time that I have had this card at keeping it down so I don't have to pay the interest on it. And it has been a lifesaver many times. So, like the reason I ended up getting that card was because Gidget got into fire ants when she was a puppy, and she was like bloody and scratched herself all over the place, and it was like this big horrible mess. So I had to get this card, and I've been able to keep it and keep maneuvering around it and shuffling things enough to not have to pay the interest. But that was like 2017 that she got into the fire ants and that I got this card. And so now I have this one balance. It's like, I will get that paid off. And probably because I'm pet sitting through Wednesday, that'll be helpful. So I just apply all that to the care credit and put more on the care credit. But at least it's a possibility right now. So everything will work out. That's what I'm learning. Everything that is going on serves a purpose in helping me trust myself, trust the universe, and not stress out over stupid shit. Even though, like it's a silly thing. I was just thinking about dogs going in and out the dog door since my dad's got home. There's only been once that he's tried to come up and sneak up behind me when I was doing a video. And he came out here and was like, "You can use my chair," because there was a chair out by the shed. It's like, I am aware if I wanted a chair, I would have used it, but I did not want the chair. I am sitting on the ground by the tree. It is okay. I have no problems with this. Yeah. Only one time though. And luckily he's left me alone since then. I think mainly because it was back when I was like super stressed out over doing videos all the time. And I put forth this effort into this one, and then he gets involved in the middle of it. It's like, why must you be in the way right now? So, I mean, they still don't. He's seen my healing journey icon on my TV when he had to hook something up for me at one point. Like, we had a Roku or whatever, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do with it, and he was messing around with my TV. It was after he got it hung back up on the wall, and that was a whole ordeal in and of itself. But he saw the little icon I had, said my healing journey, But luckily he didn't say anything about it. I just told him to click on Gracie's or YouTube because I didn't want him getting into my stuff. And, that was kind of, that's one of those things that I think it's like he saw it, but it didn't register, and I think the universe was kind of keeping him from thinking too much about it. Divine protection and all that, since I've been doing this thing that's been a hard thing, and knowing that as soon as my family knows anything about it, they're not going to be happy about it at all, especially when they see when they see anything that I've posted on it. But here we are. Yeah. Yeah, this wasn't exactly the video I thought I was doing today. I had my thought process earlier was perfectionism stuff, and I'm going to save that for another video because it's something to talk about later this week, so I can do another video and get closer to my 100. Hopefully before the end of the month, but at very least before the end of December, so that'll definitely happen. Maybe sooner than then. I'm thinking I'm going to go skate for a little bit because it is chilly, but at the same time, this is like the warm day before we get into the 20s later this week, and I'm not going to be skating when it's 20 degrees outside. That's too much. I don't remember what the coldest I did last year was, but I'm pretty sure I think I have gone below freezing before, but not highly motivated to want to do it that way because cold sucks. Yeah, and it's 50 today, or I think it was supposed to be 50 today, maybe 45, but that's still skate worthy, and it's early enough that I can still do that and do other stuff later. Oh, that was the other thing. Last night, at like 9:45, I was thinking that I really was about ready for bed. It's like I need to go potty my brother's dogs one more time and let them run for a little bit before putting them up for bed, and then come home and get ready for bed. And like 5 minutes later, after I have this thought, it's 10 till 10, and my mom sends me this message asking if I want to do my hair. It's like, clearly my hair needs it. It's a hot mess. And got some major root action going on, and I would like to have it done recently. If there were, I know there's going to be a funeral service for that one lady that passed away the other day, sometime after Thanksgiving. So I would like to get it done before then. Plus, Christmas is right around the corner, and I'm gonna kind of go with Christmas colors this time around. Kind of like because I can. And my mom would be all miffed and like, well, I think you should put some blue in it, but I don't want any blue for it. I want Christmas colors right now, and I'm gonna rock with that right now. It's like come January, I'll be back into the normally scheduled programming and whatever colors I happen to have that I'm drawn to at that moment. But this time we're gonna lean Christmassy. But yeah, last night she sends me a message at 10 till 10. It's like, are you kidding me? I'm ready to get ready for bed, and you're wanting to do my hair? And I sent my brother a message, and he's like, she's trying to get you in so she can force you to talk to her or to listen to her about your grandfather. It's like, oh, I know what it is. Because that's one of the big things since I have been setting boundaries, and since I stopped watching TV all the time. That was a big thing that stop with some of the negativity and stuff in my life. When I stopped watching TV almost completely for several months, it got to a point where she would use my hair to bribe me back into watching something with her. But if we were doing my hair, then it's something that she's not really going to be watching anyway because she's busy doing my hair. And so I just kind of stare at the TV just for the sake of doing something. I got the Barbie movie from the library today. I have not watched that yet, so that'll probably be on, well, if we do it today. I don't know that it'll be today, but if she wants to talk about my grandfather, I'm sure it could be. But yeah. But that's her little way of, here, let me entice you with something that I know you need me to help you with, and then I can force you to listen to my bullshit. Kind of a thing. So I am very particular when I go in there. I wear my paint clothes when we're doing my hair so I don't mess anything up. Especially because she's getting kind of wild anymore. Like, she's flipping it right and left, and she ended up with a green spot on her nose at one point. It didn't stay long. But, you know, she's done that kind of stuff to me. I'll end up with purple spots on my arms or whatever. It's like, what is your deal? Why are you, like, going all crazy with it now? You didn't used to do that. And it's probably partly because she's, you know, letting my grandfather siphon her energy, but she's trying to get mine and not have access to it. So there's that whole thing. Yeah. But here we are. And just out of curiosity, it is 3 o'clock. So that, yeah, that's a good time to go skate. And get that over with before it gets dark and even more chilly than it is now. Right, Zibbly? Yeah. Okay. I got 1 dogger. I got 2 doggers. I got 3 doggers. And say one of their names and they all look at me. But anyway, I might do that other video with the perfectionism conversation after I skate. Who knows? I can do whatever I want just because I want, right? As always, I appreciate you, and until the next time, see ya. Or not. See ya.